Good morning, and welcome back to day 5 of living in the new house. So the electrician's just been round this morning. Really nice chap. Same guy that did the rewiring or some of the rewiring bits inside my parents' place. Really energetic, my kind of person. So we've just been round and done the tour. A lot of post-its fell down in the middle of the night. Turns out the post-its weren't really that helpful. It was more of the list actually was helpful. So actually having it documented and keyed and everything else was the helpful item for us to talk about these things. So I can just send him that list. It saved him taking notes. But he says basically just treat it like a blank canvas. He says everything's coming out, so you've got to put everything back in. So don't worry about, oh, I want this moving here, this there. Just tell me what you want. So that's what we've done. We've gone through all of that. Come back with some really good feedback items. So we're going to put deeper back boxes in all the switches. So should I want to put a smart system in later, I can do. Moving the fuse board under that cupboard here is going to be no issue at all. He said, yeah, that's absolutely the smart thing to do. He said this place is basically, in inverted commas, a death trap in terms of how it's set up. So yeah, plenty to do. Made a couple of tweaks to do with having more spots in the hallway. But yeah, most of it seems absolutely achievable. He liked the idea of the coving. You think that worked really, really well. So I've got to take some measurements of room perimeters and stuff like that just to work out that. And he should be able to quote us on the weekend. So good progress. Even better, he's got a friend who is a plumber that he highly recommends. Who's currently working on a job with him as well. So he's going to send me his contact details and we'll reach out to them and they may be able to do it at the same time. So everything can be going in one go. Now, there were a couple of things I do just need to work on. So they may be able to actually start coming in and working on it in the next 3 to 4 weeks, which is good because that's great for the timeline of when Elizabeth's coming back from Canada. But I need to do a lot of rip out in advance of that. So basically he said he wants all the carpet up. The boards, he says upstairs, the floorboards he's not as bothered about. He'll lift them as and when he needs to. But the stud walls I want taken out. I need to get those out. I need to look at assembling them as well. And I'll also need to find a plasterer as well. Either I might have a go at plastering myself, but I think given how long it's going to take to get the electrics done and get it livable, it's probably going to be better just to get somebody in, get it plastered. Because what they'll do is they'll do the rip out, do the chasing, do everything they need to do and get it all sorted. And then the plasterer has to come and plaster it and then they'll come and finish everything off. So a few bits to do there, but we're looking good. We could potentially, I mean, fingers crossed, I don't know how these things go. We could potentially be looking at doing this towards the end of August. So should be pretty good. But I'm going to go and get back to work now because I've taken the hour out just to go around with him and get everything sorted out. And then I'll probably catch up with you a little bit later on where, given that news that's just gone on, things may start getting demolished quicker than expected. So I've come back home from work, played football with some of the people at work and my, let's just say my cardio needs work. I think I was pretty gassed out after about 10 minutes. As I mentioned, I'm having a look around the kitchen. And I think I've had a bit of a change of plan. Now, I don't think I told you guys what the plan was, so we'll go through the old plan and then we'll go through the reason for the changes. So, I haven't got the budget to actually go straight in and start doing the kitchen with the electrics being done, the plumbing being done, all of that kind of work. So, I'm trying to rejig what's already in here to make it livable, make we can use it until we can recoup the funds after buying the house and paying for all the work that's been done already to do the kitchen. So I want to use what's in here the best I can to try and make it livable, but get at least the appliances in that we want to have and sort of future-proof the appliances so we don't have to go rebuying them when we're ready to do the kitchen in a year or two's time. So what the problem was is that the previous occupiers had, and you'll see under here, under cabinet fridge, separate fridge freezers, which is not really energy efficient. It's not really what you want, and I've kind of always wanted to have a proper big door American freezer. Now it's quite a small kitchen, but I'm determined to try and get one in from there. The other thing I kind of wanted was a range, and then this was where the previous owner had their cooker, which obviously is quite a small gap. It's a very nice slimline cooker, and to be honest, when you look at the slimline cookers, most of them are pretty crap. Like they're not really things you really want in your house. So the plan was to do a bit of jiggery pokery, and these cabinets in the corner here cabinet 1, 2, 3 were to be removed, and then the original plan was to chop this cabinet out, or remove this cabinet here, chop the countertop side there to fit the double fridge freezer in there. Fantastic. The idea then was to take that cupboard out and build a better looking cupboard around the boiler, so it's at least tucked away. There was some shitty wooden shrouding around here, which I've since removed just to have a poke around and have a look. But the idea was to take that cupboard, build it so it looks like a proper cupboard around from there, and then to fill the void underneath the cabinet here was to take the drawers out from here. Now the reason I was taking the drawers out from there was to put a dishwasher in there, and then unfortunately one of the slimline rubbish looking cookers in there. The drawers were going to be taken and then we're going to put in that gap, and then we were going to take 2 of those cupboard doors and build 2 400mm cabinets down there. Now this, unfortunately, having looked, I measured the site of doing this, I measured it off this wall, but unfortunately there's some pipework hidden behind there, so I haven't got this extra piece of real estate. It's pipework that feeds the boiler. So this is where the fridge was supposed to come out to, if you can see that there. And then that's the space I needed to do the 500mm drawers and the 2 400mm cabinets. So I kind of cocked up my measurements a bit when I did that. Now, the fridge is already ordered, just to clarify, so that is on its way. So I was having a bit of a think around, and I think I've come up with a bit of a better solution, actually. It does mean slightly less cupboard space, but it does mean we can actually get the range cooker in as well. So, new plan is still remove those 3 cupboards to get the fridge in. We're still going to move the drawers over to here. We're going to take this cabinet instead and keep it and move it over to here. So we're keeping that one there. And then what we're going to do is remove these 2 doors here across the bottom of the sink, and take the 2 400mm doors we were going to use and make this gap, this shelving space only 800mm wide. So this centre beam will move over to the right. You can see that mark there is where that centre beam is going to go. And then we should be able to drop the new line for the edge of the cupboard in here, which should just miss the back of that pipe work, though I'm going to do some jiggery poker anyway to try and tidy this up and clean it around. But we should be able to get that down to 400mm, which frees up all of this space here. Having had the electrician come around today, I know all of that's going to be taken out, so I'll be able to go right up against the wall, which then means I've got this much space right the way up to there, which is great. What it then means is that a standard range cooker is normally about 900mm wide, or one of the smaller range cookers is 900mm wide, and a slimline dishwasher is 450mm wide. Taking that from the edge of the wall properly this time, it takes me up to about here, with the new edge of the cupboard being here. So I can actually get a range cooker in. I can get a dishwasher in, admittedly a slimline one, but that's at least better than nothing. I can get the American fridge freezer in, and I can get, obviously I haven't mentioned, but washing machines down there. That was pretty straightforward. The gap's already there. And I can fill in the voids over here. So all in all, what we'll end up losing is the 3 corner cabinets. We'll end up losing a bit of countertop over the edge here. Oh, and there'll be a gap here left between the fridge and that side there with those 2 cabinets. I'm thinking at least we can tuck the bin under there so it's out of the way. And then we end up losing, just the 3 cabinets in the corner effectively. And what we also end up doing still is gaining the extra drawer, get the extra door over here still, which means I can still do the boxing around there. So I think that's the new strategy. I'm going to triple check my measurements and everything, and then I think we're going to go for it, in all honesty. I think we should start pulling things apart and seeing what the damage is, and then sounds like a bit of a plan. Right, okay, so we have the corner cabinets out. Great success. You saw I've cleaned down this one. It's not an organised cupboard, don't shoot me. We'll get that organised when it's a bit more permanent. We know what we're putting in there. But the corner cabinets are out. So we've just got to drop the plates off the wall, but we'll do that a little bit later. There's no urgency to do that now. But yeah, they're out of the way. Quite a lot of dust came down, so we've cleaned all that up. Stupid me, just completely forgot I've got my ugga dugga and decided that we didn't need to use an ugga dugga. So yeah, I went and got that and done that. Now what I've got on these is I've got the 5 amp hour batteries, which are great because they last an age, but the problem is when you're working at like that sort of angle while trying to hold something up, it's quite a lot of weight on your wrist. So maybe at some point I might go for the smaller 2 amp hours just for that kind of work, just to make life a little bit easy. But yeah, we're out. I'd say major discoveries. The wallpaper's not really a surprise because you can kind of see all the layers here. I mean, I don't know how many layers are actually there. It actually looks like they might have plastered over it with like a thin layer of something. So we could strip all that back if we need to at a later date. As I said, we're not doing the kitchen straight away, so we'll just try and make that look a little bit tidier just before we do anything. But yeah, paper's not a surprise because we've got it in that corner down there. That hole is a bit of a thing, so obviously looks like they put it in the wrong place and then had to put it back in again afterwards. So bit of a surprise there, but nothing too major, nothing we can't patch up. So yeah, so far no major scares. Well, I've just realised that's probably as far as we're going to be able to go tonight. Can't say I'm too disheartened, I do need a bit of a rest. But the next couple of jobs I need to do in order to get things moving are, one, this cabinet's got to be removed. The problem I've got is that if you look inside of here, there's nothing really in the way of actually holding it up. The cabinet itself is actually holding the work surface up currently. So I'm going to have to get some timber just to prop this corner up. So what I may do is get the wood I need to actually build like the edge facade. I've got to make a decision on that because this is going to be a new edge with the overhanging surface with a bit of a gap here. So if I get the wood ready to go for that, to remake that point where it's hanging anyway and make it look nice and finished, then I'm killing 2 birds with 1 stone and not just wasting timber just to hold the corner up temporarily. So that's a bust at the moment until I can actually go out and get something to do that with. So we're going to make some organisation, some plans. I'll do some research. Pardon me. Some research tonight to try and get that done. The other option was to remove the drawers. Unfortunately, to remove the drawers, if you look down this side, we've got the waste pipe for the sink going through the side of the cabinet. And unfortunately, when you look at it, I don't think there's any way of like easily disconnecting it all. I've actually got to dismantle that waste pipe section, plumb it all out, sort this cabling out and remove whatever the hell this is. It goes to some filter or something for the water down here. I'm sure you're loving looking at all the dirty corners. I don't really want to be playing with the plumbing this late in the night and not have the sink ready for when I go to work in the morning. So we're probably going to have to just park it there temporarily for the time being. Yeah, so we'll leave it there. At least we've continuous steady action every single day. We've made progress. We've had the electrician around today. So we should have a quote ready by the weekend. One more thing I can actually do is measure the perimeters of the room, because I need to give him the perimeters of the room for the coving lighting we're planning to put in. But yeah, so we've had the electrician down, we've got the plumber sorted. He's going to come visit now on Friday, which is great news. We get ready to quote from that. Those chaps can work together, and we've got some kitchen cabinets out. So all in all, continuous steady progress while continuing some work, which is great. And I'll see you in tomorrow's one.